Spam was created for a world of war, rationing, and unreliable refrigeration. That world is gone. Yet Spam exports still help drive growth for Hormel Foods. A product invented in 1937 is not merely surviving, it is winning again. Not because people suddenly decided canned meat was healthy. Spam keeps winning because different cultures stopped treating it as a complete meal and turned it into an ingredient. That distinction changes everything. In mainland America, Spam is often remembered as a cheap block of salty meat. In Hawaii, it becomes musubi. In South Korea, it goes into bubbling army stew, rice rolls, and even gift boxes. The can stays the same, the meaning does not. This is why the world still cannot agree about Spam. Some see outdated emergency food. Others see comfort, family, and convenience. Spam began with an industrial problem. Pork shoulder was abundant and harder to sell than more desirable cuts. Hormel turned it into a product that could be sealed, shipped, and stored without refrigeration. Then World War II gave it a global distribution network. More than 100 million pounds were shipped overseas to feed Allied troops. Where American forces went, the blue cans followed. Many soldiers grew tired of it because repetition can ruin almost any food. But civilian populations experienced it differently. Where fresh meat was scarce, Spam offered reliable protein. After the war, American soldiers left many of those places. Spam did not. Local cooks sliced it thin, fried it until crisp, paired it with rice, and balanced its salt with other ingredients. That is the first secret of Spam's survival. It entered other food cultures and let them rewrite the instructions. Spam is also unusually good at starting arguments. The same can looks honest to one person and unhealthy to another. Both can be right. Spam Classic has only 6 listed ingredients. That sounds reassuring, but a short ingredient list is not a nutrition score. Spam is high in sodium and saturated fat, and it is processed meat. Simple does not mean harmless. It only means simple. It is neither a health food nor the chemical mystery many people imagine. Take sodium nitrite. Online, it is often treated as proof that something sinister hides in the can. Its role is more complicated. Nitrite helps cured meat keep its pink color and helps prevent the growth of bacteria that can cause botulism. That is a real food safety function. Health authorities also classify processed meat as carcinogenic to humans when it is consumed regularly. That classification describes the evidence, not the danger from one sandwich. Risk depends on amount, frequency, and the rest of your diet. So the honest conclusion is not Spam is safe or Spam is poison. It should be treated like bacon, sausage, or other processed meat. Occasionally, in modest portions, and as part of a larger dish. That is how many food cultures use it. A slab eaten cold from the can concentrates everything people dislike about it. It is soft, fatty, and aggressively salty. Cut it thin and fry it, and the experience changes. The surface browns, the edges become crisp. Some of the fat renders out. The salty meat becomes one strong flavor instead of the entire meal. Rice softens the salt. Kimchi adds acidity, heat, and fermentation. Seaweed brings aroma and texture. Vegetables add freshness. Spam works best when it is not asked to do everything. That is why Spam musubi is more than a novelty. A grilled slice sits on compact rice and is wrapped with nori. The rice turns a little meat into a portable snack. Hawaii did not simply accept an American military ration. Local food culture transformed it. South Korea produced an even more complicated reinvention. After the Korean War, food near American military bases included canned meat, sausages, beans, and other surplus ingredients. Those foods found their way into a spicy Korean stew called budae-jjigae, or army-base stew. Its origin is tied to poverty, war, and foreign military presence. But it did not remain trapped in that history. It became comfort food, served in restaurants and shared from bubbling pots. Spam also became a premium gift item in South Korea. That sounds absurd to many Americans, but gifts can represent abundance and status. The same can signal embarrassment in one country and generosity in another. That is the second secret of Spam's survival. It has no single global identity. Even the jokes helped. In 1970, Monty Python built a famous sketch around the word Spam being repeated until it overwhelmed the conversation. Later, the name became the everyday term for unwanted digital messages. For most products, becoming a synonym for annoyance would be disastrous. For Spam, it created global recognition. Mockery did not erase the brand. It made the brand almost impossible to forget. Now Spam is benefiting from a world that once seemed ready to leave it behind. Modern supermarkets offer fresh meat, frozen meals, and delivery apps. But canned food still has advantages. Shelf life still matters. So does price. So does speed. And so does having something edible when the refrigerator is empty, and convenience matters more than culinary ambition. Spam also fits internet food culture surprisingly well. It is instantly recognizable. It slices cleanly. It browns dramatically. In seconds, it can go from an ugly block to a glossy meal, and it invites strong opinions. People do not merely review Spam. They defend it, condemn it, and argue about the right way to cook it. Hormel now sells numerous varieties for different tastes and cooking traditions. The company says more than 9 billion cans have been purchased. Recent financial reports show Spam exports supporting Hormel's international growth. This is not merely nostalgia moving old inventory. The brand is still finding new meals and new generations. Its comeback also exposes how people judge processed food. For years, the easiest shortcut was to count ingredients. Fewer ingredients meant cleaner. More ingredients meant suspicious. But food is not that simple. Salt can preserve food and still be excessive. Nitrite can reduce one danger, while processed meat still carries risks when eaten frequently. A product can be transparent without being nutritious. It can be practical without being ideal. Spam wins because it does not need everyone to believe the same story. A prepper sees shelf life. A student sees a fast meal. A Hawaiian family may see musubi. A Korean family may see army stew or a holiday gift set. A Monty Python fan hears a joke. A critic sees sodium. A fan sees breakfast. The can absorbs all of those meanings and keeps moving. Most products depend on one carefully controlled identity. Spam survives by escaping the company that created it. The world mocked it, renamed it, fried it, wrapped it, stewed it, gifted it, and made it local. That is why Spam is still winning. Not because the criticism disappeared, not because the recipe became fashionable, and not because canned meat defeated fresh food. Spam keeps winning because it became more useful as a cultural ingredient than it ever was as an American product. America made the can. The world made Spam matter.